Facade is the song on the album where we take a moment and address the state of the church. Essentially, in the past, most of our music seemed to consist of talking about stuff inside the church, especially on the first album we made, and I think that was because it was what we were all most consumed with at the time. Since then, we've had a lot of experiences through playing shows and traveling, and we met a lot of people who were outside the church, and looking inside gives them a weird taste in their mouth. And now we have the ability to write music about Christ and keep the perspective of our entire audience in mind. And so that's what we try to do. Our music has never been and will never be intended solely for Christians. But that all being said, this song is primarily for Christians to hear. Technically, it's the second of 3 songs that the secondary character is given on the album, and this song is a break and address from the troubled main character. In fact, this is like a side note directed to the church and much needed. I so often wish I could do this in real time through missions and relational ministry in areas where the gospel needs to be spread. But the church itself is misrepresenting itself or hindering the flow of the truth of Christ. Here we can see the purpose of this song as an intentional address to the church in the midst of our main character struggle, as if the church has dropped the ball on reaching out to this person and instead has focused on many other things. One of the bigger topics in this song that comes up quite often is the idea that we as a church lack authenticity. I feel like musicians and bloggers and Facebook users and literally anybody and anything you can find with an opinion in today's culture has commented on this same topic multiple times. It's just that authenticity is so hard to come by, despite the vast sea of songs out there written about hypocrisy. But that's the thing. In our lives, it's so hard to fight off even the smallest amount of hypocrisy. It may come through the fact that we don't know enough about biblical topics or doctrine, and that's a tough situation to be in. We need to constantly stay passionate about seeking out answers, and we need to realize that the only way we'll ever be able to distinguish fact from fiction and discern what we hear from the pulpit, from podcasts, from musicians, from leaders, from movements, from parents. The only way we'll be able to know the truth is if we read the Bible that we say is the foundation of our belief system, and we seek out truth on our own. Otherwise, we remain in the dark, and that's such a shame, and it hurts. It potentially wears down the representation of the cross of Christ in your life if you don't educate yourself and pursue wisdom and understanding in Christ. I touch on quite a few topics in this song, mostly just a number of church culture cliches, whether it's blaming demons and spirits for our own sinful flesh, or the prosperity gospel, or how Christians approach politics and legislation with the wrong motives, or how we dress ourselves on social media to appear like a person in love with Jesus, even though we know nothing about him. We try to hit most of the prevalent issues appearing right now. Overall, this song is about the churches need to be more self-aware. We need to turn to Christ and truth. It's difficult and much more involved than it looks, but this is life. It's crucial, and ignoring this is fatal.